Awesome. So Ron, like I said, we'll loop Al in if he gets here, but
Okay.
you've got a lot of rich history and rich stories to share. You mentioned it's been multiple years that you've been with our Habitat affiliate. What was that initial spark, or what made you first come to our organization?
Well, I had been doing habitat projects in different areas since the late 90s. And so as I moved, I moved from one area to like Stevens Point and did it there. So when I came here, I just thought, I'll just keep doing it because I enjoyed the type of work and what I was learning with doing habitat projects.
Yeah. Are there, outside of the La Crosse area, are there other Habitat? Because obviously Habitat's an international organization. Are
Correct.
there other affiliates that have done really cool, interesting things?
Not really, because typically the ones I've been around have not had a restore or any, I would say, sister programs. So when I lived in Decorah, Iowa, it was just strictly construction. When I was in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, it was strictly construction. So when I moved here, this was the first opportunity that I saw the restore, how that operated. And since I've been here, they've branched out into reclaim, repair, and some other adventures in the community. During the winter months, I actually go to Gulf Shores, Alabama, and I work at a restore down there, which is
Aw.
kind of fun to see things here and see what things are like down there.
Yeah. Was there something that surprised you about the Restore when you first came to this affiliate?
Just how it operated, about the donations and that, and the types of donations that would come in. You just never knew when that person pulled up if it was a furniture, an old farm tool, clean out grandma's attic and basement. So it was always kind of a fun scavenger hunt. And I always enjoyed doing garage sales, but when I worked here, it was the garage sale kind of came to me, And unfortunately, a lot of days I left with something that I really didn't need, but it was a good buy.
Yeah. Whether it was our Restore or another Restore, did something really unique or interesting come in?
Quite often, like down south, what things I thought was unique versus up here, they would get a lot of Hawaiian influence type things, a lot of things with pineapples and wicker and that type of thing. Up here, I always saw that we got a lot of tools, different types of tools and this and that. And then the other things like furniture is furniture, but maybe just different styles. So probably the types of items that come in there versus here, I always thought it was intriguing. Down there, there was a military base nearby, and we got a lot of their surplus stuff, And again, that was something we don't get up here, but it was always interesting what they would send over to us, So that would have been it, yeah.
I imagine what my living room would look like if it was all wicker, and I don't think I would like it.
Okay. That's why they have spray paints.
Right.
You can tell,
Right.
you can give it a little different appearance.
Yeah. I want to ask you about Reclaim in a bit, but before the Reclaim program really got up and running, what was your experience like on the construction sites?
Uh, it started out, all the construction I was doing was new construction. And then a few years back in the Cross area, they started to buy homes and remodel homes for people. So that was, to me, a big change. The next big change I see now is they're getting prefabbed homes. And again, it's just another different step than what I was used to seeing. The other thing I think was a large change too was in my other locations, the owners had to put in their 350 hours helping with construction. And here, that is not the case. They can do other type of volunteer work, such as the restore or something else to get their hours. And now they have less hours, that they have to really donate to qualify for a home. Yep.
Right. When you considered volunteering at Habitat, was there something about the mission or something about affordable housing that resonates?
Probably affordable housing.
Yeah.
I'm just dry from
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
just my throat's
Yeah.
sore.
Yeah. No, when I first interviewed for this job, one of the first things I said was like, I've never been on a construction site. I don't know the trades, but I'm very passionate about this issue. I also serve on the County Board of Supervisors, and I see how this impacts folks in our community.
Oh, I saw the same thing, I was in property management, and there again, I saw families moving here, there every year. You know, kids never had a home. They just had the next location where obviously when you have a home, there's memories.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Is there something that you had mentioned a little bit before how our affiliate has all of this extra programming we offer to the community, and Reclaim is a relatively new thing. For those that are unfamiliar, how does Reclaim work? What do folks find interesting about Reclaim?
What it started out to be is, again, we were looking at the restore, reselling things, and we were looking at these houses getting torn down and how many items that were really reusable. And the big ones were like windows, doors, cabinetry. So again, those were items that would have ended up in the landfill. And instead we could bring them to restore and people could use them, you know, at a much lower price than going out and buying something new. So it was kind of a win-win-win all the way through.
Yeah, much better price, high quality items, and when you did the Reclaim on Market Street, it sounds like there was a lot of unique pieces
Oh,
as well.
we've always run, that's probably one of the most interesting things, walking into places. Sometimes it reminded you of your grandparents, what they had. Sometimes it was unique items you never seen before, like a piece of furniture, pocket doors, stained glass windows or something. So you just never know when you walk in what you're going to walk in and find. That was for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna see. I'm gonna check quick if Al is floating around, and then I have a couple more questions I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I don't
ask
see
you.
his trucks. I'm not holding my breath. I mean, I just don't see him out.
Yeah.
His truck out here.
And that's fine. I can try to connect with him at a different time.
Oop. Oh,
Yeah, I don't see him outside.
nope.
Well, Mr. Ron,
Okay.
is there, so obviously you work with staff, with other volunteers.
Correct.
Sometimes we'll have corporate paid groups that come in, or
correct.
even meet the homeowners. Is there a particular person that shines in your mind that gives you fond memories?
Probably homeowners would be one. The other one, working with volunteers, it's just, you talk. And again, finding out about people, you know, where did they come from? What were they doing? You know, things like that. And I think the other thing is, if you have any abilities and you start to, I want to say, kind of lead a group, it's fun to teach people how to do a task. You know, we've had a lot of people, they want to run a saw. Okay. Some were saying no thanks. Other ones were like, okay, here's how we measure and this and that. It's just fun to watch them learn something, you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of been interesting that way to watch people develop a skill. When they didn't come there that day, they walk away with one.
Yeah. Is there a particular skill that's harder to teach than another skill?
Working with saws, we're very cautious because some saws are just plain dangerous. And, you know, we just won't have people that have never worked with them go on them. And we don't have a lot of times the time to sit down and spend time with them because you got other people that are volunteering too. But there's a lot of people like using the drills, and a lot of people want to saw. So we use safe types of saws like a miter saw, which is pretty safe to use, but other saws we keep away from them. And then there's other tools like we've had them use like a nailing gun with a lot of instruction and in a particular, you know, location and project where it's not, I call it, dangerous. It's pretty safe that they aren't going to shoot themselves or somebody else with a gun. But yeah. So those kind of things, if it makes noise, they're pretty excited about using it.
Is there a particular moment you can remember the light bulb going off for someone?
Probably one time I had some ladies and they were really determined how to use the miter saw. And it was so fun to get them there and talk about measuring and setting it and how to cut an angle. And those two ladies had just the funnest day learning how to saw. Yep.
Yeah. Good for them.
Yeah, that's what I thought. They went home and
Yeah.
I thought, boy, you know, next they're gonna be bugging, hey, we buy a saw? You know, we may not need it, but this is fun. Yeah.
So Ron, why did you humor me in the first place, and why were you willing to come do this interview?
Because my buddy Al talked me into it. Because we do things together, you know, and he says, if I'm doing it, you're doing it. And I said, well, okay, you know. I guess I can spend a little time and, share some thoughts about habitats. So yeah, that's what brought me in today. Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about like the relationships and the friendships you formed through Habitat?
Um, you do quite a few. Yeah. Some are fairly long term. Some are more shorter term. But I'll have to say there's probably been, at least a half a dozen to maybe 10 people that have stayed, that have been with us for, this many years as I've been here. And there's others that have come and gone through jobs or through deaths. So it is a good relationship. Yes.
Good. Is there anything you feel like I didn't ask, but you would still want highlighted?
How much we get paid.
Yeah.
And we do not get paid anything. We do it out of our hearts. So
You do
Yep.
it out of your hearts. Why?
that's better than I'm retired. No, I just like families having a place.
Absolutely. Yeah. Home is where the heart is.
And we like picking on each other on the job site. So that's part of the day. It's just the camaraderie and the teasing back and forth and just having a good time while we're working pretty hard. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anything else you want to mention?
I think for me, what's been good is I've learned a lot about construction. Never would have got a lot of this on my own, and it's not where I have to be on the site every day, every so often. But just learning different building techniques, learning about different tools and things, I think it's been very beneficial for me.
Good. Well, thank you.